When a man steps into the ring with Manny Pacquiao, he isn't just facing another boxer. He's standing across from history, from legacy, from a force that has shaped an entire generation of the sport. And yet, every so often, someone convinces himself that he will be the one to break that force, to bend greatness to his own will. In late 2013, one such man believed exactly that. His name was Brandon "Bam Bam" Rios, and the confidence he carried into Macau, China, was as loud as it was dangerous. Rios didn't speak like a challenger hoping for an upset. He spoke like a conqueror arriving early to claim his throne. At just 27 years old, he was chaos in gloves. A fighter who thrived in the fire, who believed pain was currency and punishment was proof of superiority. With 31 wins and 23 knockouts on his record, he had built a reputation as a man who could take anything and give back worse. To him, boxing wasn't a job or a craft. It was obsession. It was identity. He once said, without irony, that boxing was better than sex, that the violence, the rhythm, the damage, that was his version of release. That mindset made him fearless. It also made him reckless. In the months leading up to the fight, Rios didn't just predict victory. He promised annihilation. He looked directly into the cameras and told the world that Manny Pacquiao's time was over, that this fight would be the end of an era and the beginning of his own. He spoke about retiring Pacquiao as if it were a formality, a necessary step on his rise to but it wasn't enough to target the fighter. Rios crossed a line when he mocked Pacquiao's longtime trainer, Freddie Roach, a man publicly battling Parkinson's disease. What might have been promotional bravado turned personal, and, in boxing, personal grudges have a way of changing everything. On the other side of the ring stood Manny Pacquiao, a name that needs no introduction. 8-division world champion, national hero of the Philippines, one of the most explosive and beloved fighters the sport has ever known. But in 2013, Pacquiao was also something else. He was wounded. Just a year earlier, he had suffered one of the most devastating knockouts of his career, flattened by Juan Manuel Marquez in a moment that replayed endlessly across televisions and phones around the world. For the first time in a long time, people questioned whether Manny Pacquiao was finished. Pacquiao heard the whispers. He felt the doubt, and more than anything, he carried the weight of unfinished business. This fight was not about titles or rankings. It wasn't about money or legacy. It was about redemption, about proving to himself, and to the millions who believed in him, that his time was not done yet. He said it plainly in the build-up. He still had the desire. He still wanted it. And for a fighter like Pacquiao, desire has always been the most dangerous weapon of all. As the fight approached, the tension escalated. Freddie Roach confronted Team Rios over the insults, and the exchange quickly turned heated. Cameras caught the moment as words flew and tempers flared. The line between promotion and personal vendetta completely erased. This was no longer just a fight. It was a reckoning waiting to happen. On November 24, 2013, inside the Venetian Macao, the atmosphere felt heavy with anticipation. The crowd buzzed with that unique electricity that only a Manny Pacquiao fight can generate. When he moves, entire arenas seem to move with him. When he throws, people rise from their seats instinctively, as if they already know what's coming. Rios entered the ring as the bigger man, stronger, on paper, carrying the confidence of someone who had never learned the cost of overconfidence at this level. From the opening bell, the difference between belief and reality began to reveal itself. Pacquiao didn't rush. He didn't brawl. He didn't meet chaos with chaos. Instead, he did what greatness always does when challenged by arrogance. He controlled the space. He flicked light jabs, tested reactions, and let Rios swing at shadows. Every time Manny moved, the crowd reacted, because his movement wasn't just footwork. It was rhythm. It was deception. It was experience distilled into motion. Rios came forward as expected, smiling, trying to impose his will, willing to take punches if it meant landing one of his own. But Pacquiao was already gone by the time Rios committed. Straight left hands snapped back Rios' head. Quick combinations landed and disappeared before Rios could answer. The plan to bully Manny, to walk him down and break him, began to unravel almost immediately. As the rounds progressed, the pattern became painfully clear. Rios was tough, undeniably so, but toughness without precision is a liability against someone like Pacquiao. Manny's hand speed was on full display, his combinations flowing with the sharpness that silenced doubts with every exchange. He wasn't loading up, he wasn't hunting a knockout. He was dismantling Rios piece by piece, punching, pivoting, and resetting before Rios could even process what had happened. Rios tried to adjust. He went to the body, hoping to slow Manny down, hoping to sap the energy from those fast-twitch movements. Occasionally, he landed a solid shot, enough to remind everyone that he was still dangerous. But for every punch Rios landed, Pacquiao answered with 3, sometimes 5. And just as importantly, Manny wasn't there to be hit when Rios swung back. Blood began to trickle from Rios' left eye, the accumulation of clean shots that kept finding their mark. His corner urged him forward, reminding him of his chin, his heart, his ability to take punishment. And to his credit, Rios never stopped coming. He never quit. He absorbed an extraordinary amount of punishment and continued to press, smiling through the pain, as if defiance alone could change the outcome. But defiance doesn't beat mastery. By the middle rounds, Pacquiao was in complete control. He was faster, he was sharper, he was thinking 2 steps ahead. The movement was constant, the angles relentless. Rios would charge in, only to find Manny already pivoting out, landing an uppercut on the way past. It was the purest expression of hit and don't get hit, executed by a fighter who had spent a lifetime perfecting it. The commentators began to wonder aloud how much more punishment Rios could take. His chin, long praised as one of his greatest assets, was becoming a curse. He was taking clean shots to the head, round after round, with no real path to victory emerging. Manny, meanwhile, looked rejuvenated. This wasn't a man clinging to the past. This was a 34-year-old champion fighting with joy, with hunger, with the unmistakable energy of someone who still believed in himself completely. As the fight entered its later stages, the crowd rose to its feet repeatedly, sensing the significance of what they were witnessing. This wasn't just a win, this was a statement. Manny Pacquiao was reminding the world that he was still very much alive in the sport, still capable of brilliance, still capable of dominating a younger, stronger opponent through skill and will alone. Rios continued to march forward, earning respect for his durability, but the outcome was no longer in doubt. Pacquiao closed the show like the consummate performer he has always been, mixing it up just enough to thrill the audience without ever putting himself in unnecessary danger. When the final bell rang, there was no controversy, no debate, no lingering question. The scorecards told the story that the fight itself had already written. A wide, unanimous decision. A near shutout. Manny Pacquiao had won every meaningful exchange, every tactical battle, every mental war inside that ring. As the referee raised Pacquiao's hand, Rios could only smile, a mix of disbelief and acceptance washing over him. He had challenged greatness. He had brought his bravado, his toughness, his arrogance into the ring. And he had been met with something far more powerful than confidence. He had been met with truth. In the post-fight interview, Pacquiao spoke with respect, acknowledging Rios' toughness and heart. He praised him for taking the punches, for refusing to go down, for staying in the fight until the very end. It was a reminder of who Manny Pacquiao has always been, not just as a fighter, but as a sportsman. He didn't gloat, he didn't celebrate at Rios' expense. He simply stood there, victorious, having answered every question that had been asked of him. The fight became a lesson etched into boxing history, a warning to those who mistake durability for invincibility, a reminder that in this sport, arrogance without refinement is a dangerous gamble. Brandon Rios wasn't exposed as weak. He was exposed as human, stepping into the ring with a man who operates on a different level entirely. For Manny Pacquiao, the night in Macau marked a turning point. It didn't erase the past, but it reframed the future. He wasn't done, he wasn't finished, and anyone still doubting him had just been given a clear message. In boxing, there are fighters who punch bags, and there are fighters who turn challengers into lessons. On November 24, 2013, Brandon Rios learned which one Manny Pacquiao had always been. If you enjoyed this story and want more deep-dive boxing documentaries like this, let me know what fight or rivalry you want covered next. Do you think Rios ever stood a real chance? Or was this always destined to end the same way? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you want to keep getting high-quality fight stories like this, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next.